We were in 1 Samuel 16
好，我们刚刚看完撒母耳记上16章，
in the first hour,
那么在第1个小时当中，
and now we're going to move far into the future
接着我们要往后走一段时间，
by going to 1 Samuel 17.
来到撒母耳记上17章，
We're going to go exactly one chapter ahead.
那么就是再往后推一章。
And yes, this is the famous and favorite David and Goliath
那
episode.
这就是著名大家都熟悉的大卫对决歌利亚。
And there are a lot of pieces to this story
那么在这个故事当中，有很多的细节，
that we aren't always aware of.
我们不见得全盘了解，
And so we'll try to give you as much of the background as we can
所以我们尽量给大家一些背景，
to give you a deeper appreciation for what's happening
那你
here.
就会更加的了解，更加的感受到发生的事情。
Because this is really an amazing story.
因为这真的是一个令人赞叹的故事，
It's amazing in a variety of ways,
它从很多的方面都令人赞叹，
but it's an amazing story.
它就是一个令人赞叹的故事。
And it's a story about courage.
而这个故事是关于勇气。
Now, I think sometimes we misunderstand courage.
很多时候我们对勇气有一些误解，
We think that the courageous person
我们觉得一个有勇气的人，
is the person who's never afraid.
他从来不害怕，
But that's not true.
但这并不是事实。
All of us are afraid at some time.
我们每一个人有时候都会感觉到害怕，
All of us face natural fears.
我们都会有天生的畏惧，
All of us face situations where we are fearful of what the outcomes might be.
我们都会碰到一些情况，我们觉得那一个可能的结果我们会害怕的。
Courage is not the absence of fear.
所以勇气并不是没有畏惧，
Courage is being willing to face the danger in spite of your fear.
但恐惧指的是，就算有畏惧，但我们还是愿意面对那样的危险。
Those are two very different things.
这是很不一样的两个状况。
Because the person who is willing to face the danger in spite of their fear
因为那些愿意克服自己的恐惧去面对危险的，
shows a strength that is not natural.
他能够展现的是超自然的能力。
But the person who lives as if there is no reason for fear
而一个人如果说他没有什么东西好畏惧的，
is either foolish or reckless.
他可能是愚蠢，或者可能是无知。
Because we live in a very dangerous world.
因为其实我们活在一个非常危险的世界，
There is much legitimate reason for fear.
我们有足够的理由去感到畏惧。
But we have in God every reason for courage.
所以，但是我们有神，让我们能够得到勇气。
And because David has a heart after God's heart,
而因为大卫是符合上帝心意的人，
he will be able to face a situation
他就能够面对一些状况。
that has struck fear into the hearts of everyone else.
那个状况是让所有人都感觉非常害怕的，
But he will be able to face that fear
但是他却能够面对这个害怕
and，engage it
而直接上场征战，
with a courage that is given to him by God.
因为上帝给他这样的勇气。
So let's look at chapter 17.
所以我们来看第17章。
And this is a very long chapter.
第17章是很长的，
So we're going to move very quickly.
所以我很快的往前带。
But as we move quickly, there are going to be times where we're going to need to stop for a while and think about something.
但是很快往前走的时候，有些地方我们要停下来思想。
And in fact, we only get to verse 1 before we have to stop and think a while.
但马上第1节我们就要先停下来看一下。
It says, Now the Philistines gathered their armies for battle,
那么这边提到非利士人召集他们的军旅要来征战，
and they were gathered at Soko, which belongs to Judah.
聚集在属犹大的梭哥。
And they camped between Soko and Azekah
那么安营在梭哥和亚西加中间。
in Ephes-dammim.
那么在以弗大米，
Now there are a lot of place names there.
这里好多地名哦。
The most important thing we find is actually later.
那么其实重要的是等一下。
The location of this site is the Valley of Elah.
那么这一个战争发生的地点
It
是
is a
以拉谷。
broad plain
以拉谷是一个平原，
with a mountain ridge on either side.
那么两边各有山。
Several years ago, I was leading a study group in Israel,
那么几年前，我带领一个团来到了以色列，
and we actually drove through the Valley of Elah.
我们的确开车经过了这个以拉谷，
And it is exactly the way it's described
那
in
这跟
verse 2.
当时这里所写的一模一样。
But before we can even think about all those things,
但是在我们还思考这个事情的时候，
the first word that gets our attention
那么第一个我们注意到的语句
is the word Philistines.
就是非利士人。
Now we know from reading the scriptures
那我们在看圣经当中，
that they were Israel's great enemy at this time in their history.
我们都知道说，在这个历史，以色列人这个时候历史上，非利士人是他们的大敌，
There was a constant state of conflict
他们不断都有冲突，
between the people of Israel and the people of Philistia.
非利士人跟以色列人。
So who were these Philistines?
所以这些非利士人是什么样的人呢、
Well, the word Philistine means sea people,
那么非利士人的原意是指海的子民，
people who have come from the sea.
他们是从海上过来的，
Because of the name sea people,
因为他们的名字叫做海的子民。
many good scholars believe that they have actually been Greek in background.
那么许多学者相信他们是具有希腊的血统。
And from the land that was Greece or would become Greece,
那么从希腊的这个当时的土地，
they traveled across the sea
他们越过了海，
to the Bible lands.
来到圣经的这个地方。
They established 5 major cities.
他们在那里建了5个大城，
One of those cities
其中一个城市
was Gath,
就是，
which is a city that we will find here in a few moments.
等一下我们会看到的。
The interesting thing about the sea people
那么有关于海的子民，有趣的是，
is that they were a people with multiple gods.
就他们是一个多神论者，
And there was an element of their thinking
所以在他们的思考里面，
that will become very important as to how this battle plays out.
所以他们觉得这个战争的结果是很重要的。
And if we don't understand that,
如果我们不了解他们的神论，
we don't really understand what's going on
就
here.
不知道说为什么会发生这样的事情。
So, the Philistines have gathered their armies for battle.
所以非利士人召集他们的军队要来打仗，
They've moved out of Philistine territory and into Israelite
所以
territory,
他们从非利士出来，来到以色列的属地。
specifically into the area of the tribe of Judah,
那主要是来到犹大的这个领地，
which, by the way, is where Bethlehem is.
那就是伯利恒所在的地方。
So we're staying in a very small area.
所以我们还是在一个蛮靠近的地方。
So it says Saul and the men of Israel were gathered and camped at the valley of Elah
所以第2节提到扫罗和以色列人也聚集在以拉谷，
and drew up in battle array to encounter the Philistines.
安营摆列队伍要与非利士人打仗。
Now, the way that ancient combat was usually waged
那么过去古早时代这个打仗的方式，
we'll pretend that you're one army and you're the other
如果
army.
你是一方，那你们是另外一队。
And I'm not going to tell you which are the Israelites and which are the
我就
Philistines.
不想说哪边是非利士人，哪边是以色列人，
You'll have to figure that out for
你们
yourself.
自己去决定吧。
But on one side you have one army and on the other side you have the other army.
但是在山谷一边是一国，另外一边是另外一国的军队。
And once the weather is appropriate
只要天气适当的时候，
and everything's ready
一切都准备好了，
and all the weapons are ready,
武器都准备好了，
the armies are set, as it says, in array.
那么军队就会排列起来，
So we line up on this side
所以一边列在这里，
and they line up on this side.
对方在对面列阵。
And when it's time to fight,
那么当战争的时候，
they just run at each other and start fighting.
这两边就直接冲过来就开始打了，
It is madness
那是一个很疯狂的情况。
and it is mayhem
那这是很多人的死伤，
and it is bloody
那是流血到处，
and there is great loss of life.
那会死掉很多的人。
Israel comes to the valley of Elah
而以色列人来到以拉谷，
and they set themselves up for battle like they've always set themselves up for battle.
他们就列阵好，准备要来做战斗，跟以前一样。
And they're on a mountain on one side of the valley of Elah
他们在以拉谷的一侧的山上，
and the Philistines are on the mountain on the other side of the valley of
非利士
Elah.
人在以拉谷的另外一侧的山上。
And just when the Israelites are all set and think it's time to run into the valley and start fighting,
当以色列人准备好，准备要冲进山谷来大打出手的时候，
instead of the Philistine army coming forward,
那么与其非利士人的军队整个冲下来，
one guy walks out.
却只出来了一个人。
Now, to be sure, he's a really big guy.
那当然，这个人有点巨大了，
It is the giant
他是一个巨人。
Goliath of Gath.
歌利亚，他是加特人。
It says, verse 4, Then a champion came out from the armies of the Philistines named Goliath from Gath.
第4节，从非利士营中出来一个讨战的人，名叫歌利亚，是加特人，
His height was 6 cubits and a span,
身高6肘，再加1虎口，
and he had a bronze helmet on his head,
头戴铜盔，
and he was clothed with scale armor,
身穿铠甲，
which weighed 5,000 shekels of bronze.
甲重5000舍克勒。
He also had bronze greaves on his legs,
第6节，腿上有铜护膝，
and a bronze javelin slung between his shoulders.
两肩之中背负铜戟，
And the shaft of his spear was like a weaver's beam,
枪杆粗如织布的机肘，
and the head of his spear weighed 600 shekels of iron,
铁枪头重600舍克勒。
and his shield carrier walked in front of him.
有一个拿盾牌的人走在他前面，
This is a big guy,
这是一个巨人，
and he's covered in armor.
他全身穿着盔甲。
Now it says that he was 6 cubits and a span.
这边提到他是6肘01虎口，
A cubit is the length from the tip of the elbow to the tip of the finger,
1肘的长度是从这里来到手指的指尖，
about a half a meter.
差不多1尺半，差不多0.5公尺。Got it.
Okay. A span is from the tip of the thumb to the tip of the little finger.
一个虎口是从这里到这里，
So you get 6 of these and 1 of these.
所以他的身高是6个这个，再加1个这个。
And what you end up with
那你这样算一算的话，
is someone 3 meters tall.
差不多3公尺高。
Now, when a skeptic hears that,
那么当有人觉得怀疑的时候，
they roll their eyes
这哪有这种身高啊？
and say, This isn't real.
这不可能吧？
This is a fairy tale.
这是神话吧？
There aren't giants.
哪有这种巨人啊？
This is crazy.
这疯狂了！
How can you believe this
你
stuff?
怎么能够相信这种事情？
The reality is,
但现实是，
this is possible.
这有可能哎。
We know this is possible
我们知道这有可能，
because even today there is a condition called giantism,
因为就像现在都还有人罹患的巨人症，
where people grow to abnormal sizes.
他们会长到巨大的身高。
Andre the Giant,
那么美国有个摔跤手 Andre the Giant，
if you ever saw the movie The Princess Bride,
你们有看过他？也可能演过电影，
obviously none of you
应该
did.
没有人看过，
That's okay.
没关系。
He was not only tall, he was big all over.
他不止那么高，他还非常的壮快，
He had giantism.
他就是有巨人症。
There have been recorded
那么曾经有记录过，
in the last 50 years
在过去的50年当中，
people exceeding 8.5 feet in height
那么有许多人身高超过8尺半，
because they had this condition.
因为他们得到了巨人症。
Is it unusual?
这不寻常吗？
Yes.
是的。
Is it impossible?
不可能吗？
No.
不见得，
It is absolutely possible.
因为这绝对是可能的事情。
Now, because of the accusation that this sounds like a fairy
因
tale,
为有人说这根本就是神话嘛，
some scholars have tried to redefine the terms
所以有些学者就重新要去定义这个事情。
and say we don't have to read this literally.
那说我们不用去逐字来看这段文章，
But I don't think we have to make that concession.
但我觉得我们并不需要做这样的事情，
Science itself tells us that this is possible,
因为科学验证告诉我们这是可能的。
and that's all I need to know.
这我知道，这样就足够
It
了。
is within the realm of reason.
这是在合理的范围之内，
There could be a guy that big,
是有人可能这么高的，
and in fact, that's who just walked into the valley.
而这个人现在走进了山谷，
Now, how big is he?
到底多大？
Well, we know how tall he is,
我们知道他多高了，
but his armor,
但他的盔甲
it says it weighed 5,000 shekels
这
of
边写说
bronze.
重了5000舍克勒，
That's 125 pounds.
那换算成就57公斤，
That's like he's wearing another person.
他好像穿着一个人在身上，
I mean, that's huge.
这是很大的。
Imagine how strong he would have to be just to be able to wear that armor.
你要想看他要多壮多大才能够穿那样的盔甲。
The staff of his spear was like a weaver's beam,
那么他的这个枪杆粗如织布的机肘，
and the head of the spear,
铁枪头
it said weighed 600 shekels,
这边写说重600舍克勒，
15 pounds,
6.8公斤，
just the head of his spear.
那只是枪头而已啊！
This is a really big guy
这是一个巨大的人，
with appropriately sized weapons,
那么他有非常巨大的武器，
and he just stepped into the valley.
而他现在走进了山谷。
And he issues a challenge.
他提出挑战，
He says,
他说
Why do you come out and draw up in battle array?
然后你们为什么不出来跟我战斗？
Am I not the Philistine and you servants of Saul?
我不是非利士人吗？你们不是扫罗的仆人吗？
Choose a man for yourselves.
可以从你们中间拣选一人，
Let him come down to me.
使他下来到我这里。
If he is able to fight with me and kill me, then we will become your servants.
第9节，他若能与我战斗，将我杀死，我们就做你的仆人。
But if I prevail against him and kill him,
但是如果我胜了他，将他杀死，
then you will become our servants and serve us.
你们就做我们的仆人，服侍我们。
Again, the Philistine said,
非利士人又说
I defy the ranks of Israel this day.
我今天向以色列人的军队骂阵，
Give me a man that we may fight
你
together.
们叫一个人出来与我战斗。
Now, this is surprising.
这是一个大惊奇。
He says to them, Why are you come out to draw up in battle array?
那么他对以色列人说：“你们为什么要在这边摆阵呢？
Well, to them, that would have been a stupid question.
那这不是很笨的问题吗？
Of course, we're in battle array. We're supposed to fight a battle.
打仗不就是应该先列阵吗？
This is how battles get fought.
打仗就是这么打的啊，
What else were we supposed to
不然
do?
要干什么？
But he has a totally different idea.
但是他的想法却完全不一样。
And this is one of the reasons why it's believed that perhaps the Philistines were Greek in background.
那这是为什么让我们想到，也许非利士人是具有希腊的血统？
Because the Greeks believed in many gods.
因为希腊人是多神论者，
And they believed the gods sat up on high.
他们相信这些神都坐得高高的，
And they observed the affairs of men.
那看地上所发生的这些事情。
And every now and then, when they got really interested, they would insert themselves into a situation and play around with it.
那么如果他们觉得有趣的话，他们也自己会下来玩一玩。
This is what's in Goliath's thinking.
所以在歌利亚的想法就是这样子。
Why should two armies fight
为什么要两军全部下来打呢？
and thousands of men die?
那好几千人要死掉哦。
We can settle this a whole lot easier.
我们可以用比较简单的方法来解决啊。
I'll fight for our side.
我代表我们这边出战，
You pick somebody to fight for your side.
你们找一个人代表你们出战，
We'll fight each other,
我们就两个人打就好了，
one on one.
1对1。
And whoever fights the best,
那么不管谁打得比较好，
the gods will give him victory.
这个诸神就会给他胜利啊。
That's how they viewed those things.
这是他们看待事情的方式。
So when they would fight one on one.
所以当非利士要征战的时候，他们会要求1对1，
And they would imagine the gods sitting up above,
他们会想象神是坐在天上，
looking down.
朝下看，
Oh, he did well.
打得不错哦。
Oh, not so good.
这个人不行。
Oh, pretty good.
这个好。
that's better. Yeah.
这个好，
And they would
进步了。
watch and they would evaluate.
然后看着整个事情呢，他做一些评估，
And then at the critical moment, the gods would say,
然后在关键的时刻，神就会说
You win.
你赢了。
This, except for the multiple gods thing, this actually is pretty reasonable.
那么除了说多神教的想法以外，其实这也蛮有合道理的。
Why should thousands of men die when only one has to?
为什么需要10几千人呢？1对1就好了。
However,
但是
it's real easy to say that when you've got Goliath.
你要这样子做出挑战，因为你有歌利亚。
When you've got the guy who's 3 meters tall,
当你有一个战士，他3公尺高的时候，
when you've got the guy who is bigger than anybody else,
当你有一个战士，他比对方所有的人都来得更巨大的时候，
of course this sounds like a good idea to
当
you.
然这样的方法应该对我们来说是个好事情啊。
Now, when this word comes across the valley of Elah to Israel,
那么当这个事情传到了以拉谷另外一端的以色列人的耳朵，
there is only one reasonable response.
那只有一个可能的反应：
Saul
扫罗。
is head and shoulders taller than anyone else in the nation.
扫罗比全国人都高一个头哦。
He's not 3 meters tall,
当然他没有3公尺高，
but he's the best they've got.
但是最高的大概就是他了。
He's the biggest they've got.
他是他们最大、最高
If
大的。
anybody has a chance, he has a chance.
如果任何人有可能的话，那个就是他了。
Besides that,
但除了这个以外，
as the king, he's responsible for leading the armies into battle.
身为一个国王，他本来就有责任，必须要带领军队出战，
So he's supposed to be out front anyway.
所以他本来就应该站在最前面。
So when Goliath issues the challenge,
所以当歌利亚出来提出挑战的时候，
the right thing at that moment
正确的事情在那个时候，
would be for Saul to put on his armor and go down and face him.
应该是扫罗要穿上盔甲走出来。
It says in verse 11,
但是在第11节，
when Saul and all Israel heard these words of the Philistine,
扫罗和以色列众人听见非利士人的这些话，
they were dismayed and greatly afraid.
就惊惶极其害怕。
I totally get that.
我完全可以理解，
I would probably be dismayed and greatly afraid
我
too.
也一样惊惶，一
I
样害
mean,
怕。
just the sight of this guy would scare you
你
to
看这个
death.
家伙多巨大，
But Saul has a responsibility.
但是这是扫罗你的责任啊！
We said earlier that at this moment in Israel's life, there is a vacuum of leadership.
当时我们已经提到，在这个时候，以色列出现一个领导的真空。
And now we're seeing what it looks like on the ground.
现在我们就清楚地看到什么叫领导的真空。
Instead of taking the responsibilities of his office,
比起担起他这个工作应有的责任，
Saul retreats to his tent
扫罗退回他的帐篷，
and hides.
他躲起来。
Now, what's interesting is this.
那么有趣的事情是，
After he issues the challenge and no champion comes from the Israelites,
当这边提出讨战的时候，以色列这边派不出人来，
Goliath goes back to his army.
那歌利亚就回到他的军队那一边。
That evening,
那天下午晚上，
he comes down into the valley again.
他再下到山谷来，
He issues the same challenge again.
他再度的讨战。
No champion comes forth for Israel.
而这边并没有军人出来，
Goliath goes back to his army.
所以歌利亚又回去了。
The next morning,
第二天早上，
Goliath comes down into the valley,
歌利亚走下山谷，
issues the challenge.
提出挑战，
Nobody comes.
没有人来，
He goes back to his
他走回
army.
去。
That evening,
傍晚，
he comes back down into the valley.
他又来了。
This happens twice a day for 40 days.
这样的情况一天2次，一共持续了40天，
That's a long time.
好长的一段时间啊！
That's 1 1/3 months.
这1个半月啊，一个1又1/3个月。
For 1 1/3 months, Goliath every morning and every evening is making this same speech.
所以1又3个月，歌利亚每天早上跟傍晚都要讲一样的话，
And every time Saul and the Israelites are quaking with fear.
而每一次扫罗跟以色列人就在那边皮皮唰。
If I'm Goliath,
如果我是歌利亚，
I want something to happen, anything.
我一定觉得总要找个人来，什么人都好。
But this is a stalemate
但这是一个关键的时刻，
because this is how the Philistines wage war.
因为这是非利士人所看战争的方式。
And until there's a champion,
那直到这边有一个战士出来，
there's no one for him to wage war with.
那就没办法开始打哎。
And it's in my mind
那么在我的想法，
that if David doesn't show up,
如果大卫不出来的话，
they're still there today,
他们现在还在那边，
waiting for a champion to
还
step
在等
forward.
另外一边派一个战士出来。
Nobody was going to take that job.
没有人愿意出来做这个事情，
It was a suicide
这
mission.
自杀任务吧？
And everybody in the armies of Israel knew it.
全军以色列全军的人都知道。
Now, when it says in verse 11 that they were dismayed and greatly afraid,
那么第11节说他们极其惊惶，极其害怕。
we expect the story to continue right there in the valley of Elah.
那么原本我们期待这样的事情在以拉谷就持续下去，
But the sudden shift comes when the narrator takes us back to David.
但这个时候作者突然做了一个转换，把故事又拉到了大卫的身上。
David is still watching the sheep.
大卫还在顾羊哦，
He's still taking care of his father's flocks.
还在看他父亲的牲口。
His 3 oldest brothers,
他的3个哥哥，
the ones who were rejected from being king,
那3个被拒绝成为国王的，
they've joined Saul's army.
他们参加了扫罗的军队。
They're at the valley of Elah.
他们在以拉谷，
They aren't volunteering either.
他们都没有自愿说要出来打仗，
And so Jesse sends David.
所以耶西派了大卫，
He sends him with some food.
他带了一些食物，
And he says, take this to your brothers
把这些带给你哥哥啊，
and to your commanders.
给他的千夫长，
Get news of the battle
那问问看军打仗的状况，
and bring it back to me.
那把消息带回来给我。
Now, what's interesting
有趣的事情是，
is that it's hard to get news about the battle if there's no battle.
那么如果没有打仗的话，其实根本没有打仗的消息可言啊。
There may have been an occasional skirmish between scouting parties,
也许侦察队有一些交战，
That's not uncommon in a battlefield
那
situation.
么在当时的情况，这也许也不会太不寻常。
But the actual battle has not taken place.
但真正的大战并没有发生，
For 40 days,
40天了，
they're waiting.
都在等。
Now it is day 41.
到了第41天，
Verse 20.
20节，
So David arose early in the morning and left the flock with a keeper and took the supplies and went as Jesse had commanded him.
大卫早晨起来，将羊交托一个看守的人，照着他父亲所吩咐的话，带着食物去了。
He shows up at the camp.
他首先注意到了羊，
He goes to whoever it is that's guarding all of the baggage,
然后来到了这个战场上那个管这些军配备的人，
and he left his baggage with them,
那把他带的食物给了他们，
and he goes out to find his brothers.
然后去找他的哥哥。
And as he finds them,
那找到他们之后，
Goliath steps into the valley for the 81st time,
这时候歌利亚第81次走进了山谷，
and he issues the challenge for the 81st time.
他第81次提出了挑战。
And the people of Israel hear it for the 81st time.
以色列人这些军人听到了第81次他的挑战，
And for the 81st time, no one responds.
第81次没有人敢回应。
But even though it's the 81st time for all of them,
但虽然对他们来说是第81次，
it's the first time for David.
对大卫来说是第1次，
This is his first time hearing this.
这是他第1次听到这个人所说的话，
And he is enraged.
他非常的愤怒。
He says to the men around him, "What's going on with all of this?" And all the men saw the Philistine and they fled away and were greatly afraid.
那么他对身旁的人说：“为什么大家这么的害怕？看到他就一直逃跑，
Here are these battle-hardened soldiers running away.
看到这个战争当中的将士士兵跑来跑去。
And David's trying to figure out what's going on.
大卫想说，到底发生什么事情啊？
And some of the soldiers say to him, "Have you seen this guy?
那么有些士兵跟他讲说：‘你看到这个人吗？
Can you imagine what's going to happen to the man who defeats him?
你可以想象，如果谁能够击败他，会发生什么事吗？
The king's going to give him riches.
国王必赏赐他大财哦，
The king's going to give him his daughter.
把女儿嫁给他哦，
The king's going to give freedom to his family."
在以色列人当中免他附加一切的税哦。
This is a really good deal
大卫听你讲，这是很好的条件啊。
that nobody wants
那没有人，为什么没有人要？
because you're not going to be alive to collect any of that
因为
stuff.
你不会活着领到这些奖赏。
So as David hears all of this,
所以大卫听到了这一切，
it's almost as if he can't believe what he's hearing.
他好像难以相信他所听到的。
He says in verse 26,
在26节他说
"What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine?"：“
有人杀这非利士人的话，
And who takes away the reproach from Israel?"
除掉以色列人的耻辱，会怎么待他呢？
All of a sudden, David sees a different situation.
突然之间，大卫所看到的跟别人不一样，
He sees a different situation from everything that they've been seeing for 41 days.
他跟过去41天当中别人所看到的角度是不同的。
They see the threat and the danger.
他们看到危险，看到恐惧，
David sees Israel being insulted and reproached.
而大卫看到是以色列人被羞辱。
And remember, Israel is linked to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
而以色列是直接连结在亚伯拉罕、以撒、雅各的上帝，
And so when Goliath is mocking Israel,
所以当歌利亚在嘲讽这些以色列人
in
的时候，
David's mind, he is mocking God.
对大卫的眼光来说，他就是在嘲讽我们他的神，
And because David is a man after God's heart,
因为大卫是寻求上帝心意的人，
he will not stand for that.
他不能够忍受这样的事情发生，
Now, this is really interesting.
这是很有趣的。
He says, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should taunt the armies of the living God?"
大卫说：“这未受割礼的非利士人是谁呢？竟敢向永生神的军队骂阵吗？”
He did not say the armies of Saul.
他并没有说是扫罗的军队，
He did not say the armies of Israel.
他没有说是以色列的军队，
He said the armies of the living God.
他说永生神的军队。
David is looking at this through a totally different set of lenses.
大卫的眼光跟别人是完全不一样的，
He sees this as an assault on God himself.
他看到这个是直接对上帝的侮辱，
And so it says,
所以他说
I'm going to take care of it.
他说我可以这么做，
I'm going to step in.
我要出战。
Now, about this time, Eliab,
以利亚
remember him?
以利亚这么高，
The older brother,
他的哥哥
tall, dark, and handsome,
又高又英俊，
much of a man.
更男人。
He spoke to David
这个时候，以利亚对大卫说，
like older brothers have been speaking to younger brothers
就好像大哥跟小弟说的话，
forever.
永远都是这样子的。
I know this
这个我最了解，
because I'm an older brother
因为我就是大哥，
and I have 3 younger brothers.
我有3个弟弟，
My wife and I have 4 sons.
那我自己有4个儿子，
There's an older brother and younger
当
brothers.
然就有大哥跟小弟喽。
Out of our 6 grandchildren,
那么我们还有6个孙子，
there are 2 sets of brothers.
那么2组都是兄弟，
There's an older brother and a younger
那
brother.
就有大哥跟弟弟。
This is how older brothers talk to younger brothers.
大哥总是这样子对弟弟说的。
Eliab says,
以利亚说
Why have you come down?
你下来做什么呢？
What are you doing here?
你在这边干嘛？
Who told you you could be here?
谁说你可以来这里的？
That's how older brothers talk to younger brothers.
大哥对小弟总是这么讲。
But
但是
I wonder if in this case there's a little extra added spice to it.
但是我觉得在这个 case 当中有一些比较不同的问题，
Because remember, Eliab was passed over
因为你记得以利亚被
and rejected as the king.
没有被选做国
And
王，
David was anointed.
而大卫却被高立做国王，
And I wonder if he's not still a little upset about that.
他可能对这个事情还是有一点沮丧吧。
What are you doing here?
你来这里做什么？
With whom have you left those few sheep in the wilderness?
那么旷野那几只羊你交托给谁了？
This is how older brothers talk to younger
大
brothers.
哥骂小弟都是这样骂的，
You're a worthless kid.
你这个没有价值的家伙，
Dad gives you a few measly sheep to watch.
上帝给你那几只小羊，
You can't even be trusted to do
你
that.
的羊都看不好，
You're just here because you want to see the battle.
你来这边就是你想看打仗而
You
已，
think it's exciting.
你觉得打仗很刺激，
Well, it's not that exciting. There's no battle.
因为没有那么刺激，因为根本没有打。
He's really giving it to David right now
所以他真的是在责骂大卫，
because this is how older brothers talk to younger brothers.
这本来就是大哥对小弟说话的方式。
And then David responds.
然后大卫反应，
And he responds in the way younger brothers speak to older brothers.
他反应的方式是所有小弟跟大哥说的话。
What have I done now?
我做了什么啊？
Every time. I cannot imagine how many billions of times younger brothers have said that to their older
我已
brothers.
经记不得有几万次、几百万次，弟弟会对哥哥说这句话。
What have I done now?
我做了什么？
I just showed up.
我只是来这里而已啊，
I just asked a question.
我只是问个问题而已啊，
What are you jumping down my throat for?
你干嘛那么生气呢？
So you have younger brother and older brother,
所以大哥跟小弟弟，
and they're yelling at each
他
other.
们现在2个人在那边吵架，
Meanwhile, Goliath's still out here in the valley
歌利
waiting
亚还站在山谷里面，
for the 81st time.
第81次了。
Isn't this a great story?
这故事是不是很棒呢？
I love this story.
我超爱这个故事。
Verse 31.
第31节，
When the words which David spoke were heard, they told them to Saul, and he sent for him.
有人听见大卫所说的话，就告诉了扫罗，扫罗便打发人叫他来。
Now, this is just crazy,
这是疯狂的情况，
but it's been 41 days.
但已经41天了。
I mean, we can't sit here in the valley of Elah forever.
我们不能永远就坐在这个以拉的山边吧？
Eventually, something's got to happen.
总要有一些事情要发生吧？
81 times Goliath has issued the challenge.
歌利亚已经下来挑战第81次了，
81 times, absolutely no one has volunteered to go fight.
81次没有人自愿说我愿意出来迎战。
Somebody might be interested.
那现在有人愿意喽，
Get him over here.
赶快叫他来，赶快叫他来，
Let's talk.
我们好好谈谈。
Now remember, Saul's head and shoulders taller than anyone else.
请注意，扫罗比大家都高了一个头，
And David's a kid.
大卫是一个少年人，
And when David walks in,
所以当大卫走进来的
I
时候
can，imagine Saul looking at him and thinking,
大卫，我们可以想象扫罗看着他，
oh no,
我的天啊，
this will never work.
这不可能吧？
David says to Saul,
大卫对扫罗说
let's Let no man's heart fail on account of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine.
人都不必因那非利士人胆怯，你的仆人要去与那非利士人战斗。
Who are you again?
那你哪位啊？
This is shocking.
这实在太令人震惊了。
It's shocking for two reasons.
两个原因让人震惊。
You've got a whole army that will not say this.
因为全军没有任何人愿意说这句话。
But you've also got the king himself who wouldn't say this.
国王自己都不敢说这句话。
And now you've got this kid who says this.
现在这个少年人说出来了。
I'll fight him.
我来跟他打。
And Saul looks at him and says, You can't do this. You're just a kid.
扫罗说：“你不可以啊，你年纪太轻了。”
And David says, I might just be a kid.
大卫说：“我也许是年轻，
But I've fought before.
但是我打过仗哦。
I was watching my dad's sheep,
我为我父亲雇羊，
and a bear came in.
有时候熊来了，
And by God's strength, I was able to protect the sheep by slaying that bear.
那么上帝保护给我力量，我能够杀掉这只熊，保护那些羊。
And one day,
有一天，
I was watching my father's sheep,
我在雇我父亲的羊，
and a lion came in.
狮子来了，
And by God's strength, I was able to protect the sheep by killing that lion.
靠着上帝的力量能够保护这个羊，我杀了那个狮子。
David is seeing a different situation here.
大卫所看到的是一个不同的情况。
The people in the army of Israel are looking at the giant,
所有的以色列军人看到的是那个巨人，
and they're saying the math on this just doesn't work.
他们开始计算说这个不可能，
This is impossible.
不可能了。
David looks at this and says,
但是大卫看着他说
He's a really big guy,：“
哦，他好大哦，
but God's bigger.
但上帝更大，
I'll go fight him."
我会去跟他战斗。”
And he says in verse 37, The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and from the paw of the bear, he will deliver me from the hand of the Philistine.
37节，大卫又说：“耶和华救我脱离狮子和熊的爪，也必救我脱离这非利士人的手。”
Now at this moment,
在这个时刻，
any right-thinking person
任何一个思绪力清楚的人
would look at David and say,
会看着大卫跟他说
You know what? I admire your spunk.：“
我承认你的勇气，
You got guts, kid.
你很有胆，
I'm proud of you.
我对你感到骄傲。
But I'm not going to send you out there to die.
但我们不能派你去送死啊！
Because first of all, then you'll be dead.
第一个你会死啊，
And second of all, then we'll all be slaves.
第二我们就全部变成奴隶了。
And this doesn't end well for anyone.
这听起来对谁都不好啊。”
But that's not what he says.
但扫罗不是这么说哦。
David says, I'll go fight him. And Saul says, Okay,
大卫说：“我要去跟他战斗。”扫罗说：“好啊，
this is madness.
这疯狂了吧？
He's sending a child out to fight a giant.
他送一个小孩子去跟这个巨人战斗。”
This is just how far Saul has fallen.
这就是扫罗他坠落有多深的一个情况。
And this is the evidence of how desperately Israel needs a new king.
这是为什么以色列人绝对需要一个新的君王。
That rather than do his duty as the king
他与其做他应做的责任，
and lead the nation in the fight,
带领军队参与战斗，
he would send a child
他送一个少年人
to fight in his place.
代替他出战，
And that's tragic.
这是悲剧，
That's sad.
这是非常悲哀的事情。
So, Saul said to David,
所以扫罗跟大卫说：“
Go and may the Lord be with you.
你可以去，耶和华必与你同在。”
Now, at this point, Saul has no relationship whatsoever with the Lord.
其实这个时候，扫罗跟耶和华应该没有任何的关联了。
May the Lord be with you is just kind of a nice saying.
那么耶和华必与你同在，只是说好听的，
It's like he's saying, Go and don't get killed too bad.
好像跟他讲说：“去吧，不要死得太惨。
It's a meaningless statement ”
这话一点意义都没有，
coming from Saul.
这是出自扫罗的话。
So it says, Then Saul clothed David with his garments and put a bronze helmet on his head, and he clothed him with armor.
38节，扫罗就把自己的战衣给大卫穿上，将铜盔给他戴上，又给他穿上铠甲，
And he girded his sword around him.
把刀挎在战衣外。
Now remember, David's a kid,
那么大卫是一个小孩子，
and Saul is head and shoulders taller than anyone else in the
那扫罗
country.
比大家都高一个头哦。
In a million years, that armor's not going to fit David.
你想也知道，他的盔甲大卫穿不下吧？
It's almost comical the way it describes it.
那这听起来根本就像喜剧的情况。
It says David girded his sword over his armor
所以大卫就把刀挎在战衣外，
and tried to walk.
他试试看能不能走。
It's bad enough I've got to go fight a giant. How am I supposed to do it if I can't move?
那么跟巨人对打已经是够痛苦了，你还叫我穿成这样子，我不能动啊！
That was really good. We have fun up here. He says, I can't use this stuff.
他说我不能穿，
I can't use this stuff.
我不能穿这个盔甲，
So it says he took his stick in his hand.
所以他就手里拿了杖，
Now the stick would have been his shepherd's staff
那个杖就是他牧羊人的杖，
that he used in shepherding his father's sheep.
他平常在看他父亲的羊所用。
And he chose for himself 5 smooth stones from the brook and put them into his shepherd's bag.
又在溪中挑选了5块光滑的石子放在袋里，就是牧羊人所带的囊里。
And he took his sling in his hand.
手中拿着甩石的机旋，
And for the first time in 81 times,
在第81次之后，
someone steps down into the valley to face Goliath.
终于有一个人走下山谷去面对歌利亚。
I don't know if at this moment Goliath is relieved
我不晓得歌利亚这时候就感到哇，终于啊，
that he doesn't have to make that speech anymore,
我不用再讲那些话了，
or shocked
或是他很惊讶、
that
震惊，
someone is actually showing up to fight.
真的有人敢下来跟我打。
But when he sees who it is,
但当他看到来的人是谁，
he just laughs.
他就开口笑了。
It says, Then the Philistine came on and approached David
那么这边写到，非利士人观看见了大卫，就藐视他，
with the shield bearer in front of him.
因为他走盾牌的走在他前头。
And when the Philistine looked and saw David,
他观看见了大卫，
he ridiculed him,
藐视他，
for David was just a youth.
因为他年轻。
And the Philistine said to David,
那非利士人就跟大卫说
Am I a dog
我是狗吗？
that you come at me with a stick?
你拿杖到我这里来。
There are 2 things here.
那这里有2件事。
First of all, he looks at David and says, This is crazy.
第一个，他看着大卫说：“你疯了吗？
You're just a kid. Now, everybody is telling David he's just a kid.
那你是个孩子啊，你是少年人啊，每个人都这么说，年轻。
I think David already knew he was just a kid.
我想大卫自己都知道他是一个小孩子，很年
But
轻。
again, that's not the whole story.
但这不是完全的故事，
He is small.
他还个子小，
His God is big.
对手是大
That's。the whole story.
那但是他的上帝是大的，这是关键。
And so Goliath comes down, and listen very carefully to what he says.
所以你注意听歌利亚所说的：
Am I a dog
我是个狗吗？
that you come at me with a stick?
你拿一个杖来对我。
One of the side effects of giantism
那么巨人症的一个副作用，
is that it hampers your vision
它会影响他的视力，
so that it's hard to focus.
所以他经常没办法对焦。
Okay? Goliath sees the stick.
所以歌利亚看到了大卫的杖，
He doesn't see the sling.
他没有看到甩石的机旋，
He doesn't even see where the real danger is coming
他
from.
没有看见真正的危险会来自什么地方。
He shouldn't be afraid of the stick.
那当然，他不需要害怕那个杖，
He better be afraid of that sling.
但他要小心那个机旋。
This sling,
这个机旋
which would have been like a leather pouch
像是一个皮质的囊袋，
with straps coming from either
那
side,
两边都有绳子。
you would take a stone and drop it into the sack,
你把这个石头放在这个袋子里面，
and you would sling it around your head.
你开始绕着头在转这个石头。
And at exactly the right instant, you would let go of one of the strings
那么在适当的时间，你放开其中一条绳索，
and snap your wrist,
然后手腕抖一下，
and it would shoot that stone into the air.
那石头就会甩过去。
A highly skilled slinger
如果是一个非常熟悉技巧的人，
can throw a stone
他甩出去的石头，
at speeds up to 120 kilometers an hour.
他可以甩出的石头时速高达120公里。
This is not a child's toy.
这不是一个小孩子的玩具，
This is a proper weapon.
这真的是一项武器。
And David's got a sling,
而大卫拿着这个甩石的机旋，
and Goliath doesn't even see the sling.
而歌利亚连那个机旋都没有看见，
All he sees is the stick,
他看到的只是那一根杖，
and it will be his undoing.
而这就是他的弱点。
It says the Philistine cursed David by his gods.
所以这边写说，非利士人就指着自己的神咒诅大卫。
Then the Philistine said to David,
他又对大卫说
Come to me,
来吧，
and I will give your flesh to the birds of the sky and the beasts of the field.
我将你的肉给空中的飞鸟、田野的走兽吃。
Then David said to the Philistine,
大卫对非利士人说
You come to me with a sword and a spear and a javelin,
你来攻击我是靠着刀枪和铜戟，
but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts.
我来攻击你是靠着万军之耶和华的名。
See, to David, there's only one thing at stake here,
所以对大卫来说，只有一个事情是关键，
and it is not David's life.
不是他的生命，
What's at stake here
他这里重要的是
is God's honor.
是上帝的荣誉。
That's why he's in the valley of Elah.
所以为什么这样？他来到了以拉
That's
谷，
why he's facing
他
Goliath.
因此来面对歌利亚。
He says, This day the Lord will deliver you up into my hands, and I will strike you down and remove your head from you.
今日耶和华必将你交在我手里，我必杀你，斩你的头。
I will give the dead bodies of the army of the Philistines this day to the birds of the sky and the wild beasts of the earth,
又将非利士军兵的尸首给空中的飞鸟、地上的野兽吃，
that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel,
使普天下的人都知道以色列中有神，
and that all this assembly may know.
又使这众人知道。
He wants all the earth to know that there's a God in Israel.
他要全世界知道以色列中有神，
But when he says all this assembly, he's referring to the Israelite army
而这个时候他也提到，他要让全部的以色列的军队，
who have lost sight of their God.
他们没有看到他们的神。
He says, I want them to know
他说：“我要让他们知道，
that the Lord does not deliver by sword or by spear,
众耶和华使人得胜，不是用刀用枪，
for the battle is the Lord's,
因为征战的胜败全在乎耶和华，
and he will deliver it into our hands.
他必将你交在我们手里。”
David's priorities
大卫的优先顺序
are God's honor and God's name.
是上帝的荣誉、神的名，
And he's willing to face Goliath because those things matter to him so much.
因为这些对他是这么的重要，他愿意出来面对歌利亚。
This is the indicator
那这是一个指示，
that he really is a man after God's heart.
他真的是符合上帝心意的人，
That the name of God matters to him this much.
因为上帝的名对他来说是何等的重要，
Shows that his heart resonates with God's.
所以他的心跟神完全连结认同，
So much so that he's willing to go fight Goliath.
认同连结到他愿意去出战歌利亚。
Now remember, for 81 times,
歌利亚已经81次了，
Goliath has stepped into the valley and issued the challenge.
他站到以拉谷提出挑战
For 81 times,
，81次，
Saul and the army has run away.
扫罗的军队全部都逃走，
Now, for the first time,
但现在第一次，
instead of running away from Goliath,
与其逃走，
David runs right at him.
大卫跑向歌利亚，
And as he's running,
而当他跑动的时候，
he's loading his sling
他开始掏出石头来装上他的机旋，
and he lets it go.
他挥出去。
And it says, a stone sank into the Philistine's forehead
这边写说打中非利士人的额头，
so that he fell on his face to the ground.
所以他就扑倒，面伏于地。
Now, I'm not a physicist,
我不是一个物理学家，
but I know some people who are physicists.
那我知道有些人是很懂物理。
And even though I do not have an exhaustive knowledge of physics,
虽然说我对物理不是那么的了解，
I do understand one of the primary laws of physics.
但我知道一个物理的最基本的原理。
One of the primary laws of physics
那么物理的基本原理，
is that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction.
所以每一个动作重力力量一定有一个反作用力，
For every force there is a response.
所以每一个力量会有一个回应。
Everything in physics says
那每一个物理所说的原理，
that when that stone hits Goliath in the head
当那个石头打中歌利亚的额头的时候，
at 120 kilometers an hour,
时速高达120公里，
the impact of that falls him back.
打到他的头，他应该向后倒。
Everything in physics says he needs to fall on his back
那么物理上告诉我们，他一定是背靠的倒在地上，
because for every action there is a reaction.
因为每一个动作有一个反作用
That's
力，
how physics works.
这是物理学所说的。
But it says the stone sank into his forehead so that he fell on his face.
但这边写说，石头进入他的额内，他就扑倒，是面伏于地。
This defies the laws of physics
这个完全违背了物理学，
because it's not the stone that defeated Goliath.
因为我们了解，不是石头击败了歌利亚，
It was God.
是上帝击败歌利亚。
Now, what's very interesting is this.
重要有趣的是，
For the Philistine army,
对非利士的全军来说，
this would have been very significant.
这是重大的事件。
Now, obviously, it's significant because Goliath just lost.
重要性关系是因为歌利亚输了，
And that means they're supposed to become the slaves of Israel,
那表示他们就应该变成以色列的仆人奴隶喽。
which, oh, by the way, they never intended anyway because they all run away.
那么他们并不这么想，他们全部都逃跑了。
But what the Philistines know in their national memory
但是在非利士人他们的国民的记忆里面，
is an event recorded earlier in 1 Samuel.
是在撒母耳记上之前曾经发生过的事情。
The Philistines are doing battle against the Israelites,
非利士人跟以色列人征战，
and the Israelites are losing.
以色列人输掉了。
And so they send to the tabernacle to bring the Ark of the Covenant.
他们就从会幕里面把约柜搬了出来。
The Ark of the Covenant represents the presence of God among His people.
约柜表示上帝跟人民同在的。
And they bring the Ark of the Covenant to the battleground,
他们把约柜带到了战场，
almost as if it was a good luck charm.
那么觉得这应该就是吉祥物吧？
Now we're going to win
我们一定会赢了吧？
because we've got our lucky charm.
因为我们的吉祥物来了，
And they lose.
结果他们输了，
And the Ark is captured.
而约柜就被掳了。
And the Philistines take it to the temple of one of their gods,
所以非利士人就把约柜带到他们的庙当中。
a god named Dagon.
这个庙的名就神是大衮，
It was half fish and half man.
他是半人半鱼的一个神。
And they placed the Ark of the Covenant in front of the god Dagon.
他们就把约柜放在大衮神像的前面，
And they leave.
他们就离开了。
And they come back the next morning.
那第二天早上，
And Dagon is on his face on the floor in front of the Ark of the Covenant.
那么大衮的神像扑倒在耶和华的约柜前，脸伏于地。
They set Dagon back up.
那么他们把大衮又扶起来。
And by the way,
再顺便一提，
do you have much of a God if you have to help him sit?
你有什么神是必须要扶他起来的吗？
I don't think so.
神应该不需要这样的帮忙吧？
The next morning they come back and Dagon is on his face again
第二天他们再进来，大衮又是面伏于地，
with his arms cut off.
他这连手脚都断了。
As they see Goliath face down in the ground
所以当他们看到歌利亚面朝下倒在地上，
before the representative of that God,
他们在那个代表那个上帝的人面前倒下，
they learn information
他们学到了一个教训：
that the God of Israel really is greater than the gods of the Philistines.
因为以色列的上帝真的大过非利士的神。
And suddenly David's mission is accomplished.
而这个时候，大卫的任务完成，
Because remember, he said
因为你记得他说，
what he wanted more than anything else
他所要的最要的就是
is that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel.
要让全天下人都知道以色列当中有神。
And the Philistines just learned that
非利士人现在看到，
as they see their champion face first in the dirt,
他们看到他们的勇士是面朝下倒在地上，
just like their God had been before.
就是他们之前他们的大衮神像一样。
This is a powerful story.
这是一个非常有力的故事。
It's a powerful story because it speaks of a heart for God.
这个有力的故事，因为他说出了神心中的话。
It's a powerful story because it speaks of how paralyzing fear can be.
那么有力的故事告诉我们说，恐惧会如何让人瘫痪。
It's a powerful story because it reminds us how dangerous a vacuum of leadership can
因为
be.
他提醒我们说，领导的真空是多么危险的事情。
But most of all,
但更重要的，
it's a powerful story
这是一个有力的故事，
because now we see visually
因为现在我们可以亲眼看到一样，
what we had only been told before.
我们以前只是被告知，
Before we had been told
以前我们被告知，
that God looks on the heart.
上帝看人的内心，
Before we had been told
以前我们被告知，
that this new king would be a man after God's heart.
新的国王必须是合神心意的人。
We heard it.
我们听到，
Now we have seen it.
现在我们看见，
David's greatest victory.
这是大卫最伟大的胜利。
And he's still just a boy.
而这个时候他还是个少年人。
Now, there are going to be many other battles ahead.
他的未来还有很多的战役。
David's going to live a bloody life.
大卫的生涯充满了血腥，
He is going to take lives.
他会杀掉很多人，
And he's going to fight to keep his life from being taken.
他必须想办法保住自己的生命不被杀掉。
He will be hated and he will be pursued.
他会被仇恨，他会被追杀。
But through all of those experiences,
但在这些经验的过程当中，
he just added one more evidence of God's protection.
他再度的验证了神的保护。
Because before he could talk about a bear,
因为过去他能够击败过熊，
and he could talk about a lion,
他击败过狮子，
but now he can talk about a giant.
现在他击败了巨人，
And that his God has faithfully watched over him all the way.
而他的神都持续的看顾他。
And when you read his Psalms
当你读大卫的诗篇，
of how he is pursued in the wilderness,
他在被追赶躲到旷野去
how
的时候，
Saul seeks to take his life,
扫罗要夺取他的生命，
how he is hated without cause.
他被各种没有理由的憎恨，
In his Psalms,
在他的诗篇里，
what he reflects on
他的困苦的诗篇，
is the goodness of his God,
却还是他提到美善之处，
because he's experienced it.
因为他经验了神的美善，
The strength of his God,
他经验了神的力量，
because he's experienced it.
因为他经验到了
The provision of his God,
神的提供，
because he's experienced
因
it.
为他亲身的体验，
And it is that remembrance
就是这样的一个记忆，
that will carry him through.
带领他继续往前行。
Because the same God who was with him in victory
因为那个同一个在他胜利时的神，
is the God who will be with him in the wilderness.
也是同一位与他在旷野的神。
The same God who is with him in his high moment of victory
在他高潮的时候，在他身边的神，
will be with him in his low moments of defeat.
在他人生最低谷的失败的时候，也跟他在一起。
He's a man after God's heart.
他是合神心意的人，
And now we see what that looks like.
而我们现在知道什么是合神心意的人。
Both of our episodes tonight have been with David as a youth,
所以今天两堂都提到大卫少年人所发生的事情。
and we have just seen possibly David's best moment.
我们也许看到是大卫生涯的最高峰，
Tomorrow we will see David as an older man,
而明天我们看到大卫已经年纪比较长了，
and we will see him perhaps at his worst moment.
我们将看到是他人生的最谷底。
I hope you can come back and join
我
us.
希望大家能够再回来继续一起研讨。
Let's pray.
我们一起来祷告。
Father, we thank you that you are greater than anything that we might face.
天父上帝，我们感谢你，你比我们所面对的一切都来要更大。
We thank you that though some trust in chariots and some trust in horses,
有些人需要战车马兵，
we trust in the name of the Lord our God.
但我们信靠的是主你的名。
That we trust in you because you are enough.
我们信靠你，因为你提供的充足有余。
And so, Father, I pray that you would help us
父啊，所以我们请求你帮助我们，
to build up memories of experience,
给我们对经验的记忆。
memories of experience of how you have provided for us,
我们记得你曾经供应我们的一切，
how you have helped us,
你曾经怎么帮助我们，
how you have loved us,
曾经爱我们。
so that in the difficult moments of life,
所以在我们人生困难的时刻，
like David,
像大卫一样，
we can pull those memories forward
我们可以利用这一些记忆，
and be reminded
被提醒，
that you are with us always
你永远会跟我们在一起，
and that you never leave us or forsake
你
us.
永远不离开我们。
Thank you for your faithfulness to us, Father.
感谢你对我们的信实，
We love you.
我们爱你。
In Jesus' name,
奉耶稣基督的名，
amen.
阿门。